Hey Chiefs Kingdom, get ready. Because something big is brewing in Kansas City, and the clues are already on the table. What if I told you the front office just quietly revealed their entire draft strategy, without actually saying it outright? Yeah, that's exactly what just happened, and if you read between the lines, this could shape the future of the franchise for years. We're diving deep into everything Brett Veach just hinted at ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft, and trust me, some of these details change everything. From pick number 9 to late-round surprises, there's a blueprint forming, and it's not as obvious as people think. So stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to see the draft through the eyes of the Chiefs front office, and you might not look at this team the same way again. Right out of the gate, Veach made one thing crystal clear: this draft is not just about fixing today. It's about building a dynasty that stretches into 2027, 2028, and even 2029. That means every pick has layers of intention behind it. And when you look at pick number 9, things get really interesting. A lot of fans are trying to lock in one position, but Veach basically told us, don't do that. This roster still has multiple needs, and nothing is completely off the table. Well, almost nothing. Quarterback? Not happening. Specialists? Obviously not. And surprisingly, interior defensive line at that spot seems unlikely too. But everything else? Wide open. Now think about that for a second. If nearly every position is in play at number 9, that means the Chiefs are in full best player available mode. And that's when things get dangerous for the rest of the league. Because when Kansas City isn't drafting for need, they're drafting for dominance. That's how you end up stealing elite talent that falls unexpectedly. So the real question becomes, who drops? And more importantly, who does Veach fall in love with? Let's shift to one of the most talked about needs, offensive tackle. Protecting the quarterback has always been a priority, but the way Veach talked about it, there's more strategy here than meets the eye. He hinted at a drop-off in talent after a certain point in the draft. That tells us something critical. The Chiefs know exactly where their sweet spot is for grabbing a tackle. But here's the twist: they might not force it early. Instead, they could let the board fall to them, or even hope other teams go on a tackle run first. Why would they want that? Simple. If tackles fly off the board early, it pushes elite talent at other positions right into Kansas City's lap. That's chess, not checkers. And then there's the arm-length conversation. Chiefs fans know this has been a big deal for their offensive line evaluations. But now, Veach might be loosening that standard just a bit. That opens the door to a whole new group of prospects who previously wouldn't have fit the mold. And that flexibility could be huge on draft night. Because instead of limiting themselves, the Chiefs are expanding their options. And that's exactly how you outmaneuver the rest of the league. Now let's talk about something that didn't get said. Because sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Veach mentioned several position groups, but noticeably left out a few key ones. No real emphasis on safety. Barely anything on tight ends. And that's interesting because those are positions fans have been discussing heavily. So what does that mean? Are those positions not a priority? Or is this classic misdirection? Because if there's one thing we know about draft season, it's that not everything is as it seems. And then we get to the defensive line. Veach admitted they need more interior presence, but also said there's no clear top-tier talent at that spot early in the draft. That suggests something important. The Chiefs might wait on that position. Instead of reaching early, they could target value later. And if they hit on the right developmental player, that could turn into a massive win down the line. This is where patience becomes a weapon. Another major takeaway? The way Veach talked about navigating the board. That one word says a lot. Because historically, this front office loves to move up. They're aggressive. They go get their guy. In fact, trading up has basically become part of their identity. And based on what we heard, that's not changing anytime soon. So don't get too comfortable seeing them sit at their original picks. Imagine this scenario: you're sitting at pick 29 or 40, and there's a player you love. But you know he won't last. That's when Veach strikes. That's when those trade-up instincts kick in. And suddenly, the Chiefs are back in control of the draft narrative. But here's the risk. When you move up, you give up assets. And that means you have to be right. Luckily, This front office has a strong track record of identifying talent. So when they make that move, it usually pays off. Still, every decision comes with pressure. Let's circle back to the big picture. This draft isn't about one position. It's about building layers across the roster. It's about balancing immediate impact with long-term potential. And it's about staying one step ahead of every other team trying to catch up. Because make no mistake, everyone is chasing Kansas City. And the Chiefs know it. That's why every clue from this press conference matters. Every comment, every omission, it all feeds into a larger strategy. And if you're paying attention, you can start to see the blueprint forming. This is a team preparing not just to compete, but to stay on top. So now I want to hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. What do you think they should do with pick number 9? Do you want a bold move? A trade-up? Or should they sit tight and let the board fall to them? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this draft is shaping up to be one of the most important in recent memory. And if you're as hyped as I am for what's coming next, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with every Chiefs fan you know. Because the road to the next championship might just start with this draft. And you don't want to miss a second of it.